Welcome to my presentation of the journal article, Repeated Reading as a Method to Improve Reading Fluency for Struggling Adolescent Readers. The authors are Ann Guerin and Brian Murphy. I found this article in the Journal of Adolescent and Adult Literacy. I have included the link in the APA citation in case you would like to access the article. This article focuses on improving reading fluency. Reading fluency is a concern for all students, regardless of their age. Typically, teachers of older students see it as a job for teachers of younger students, and this isn't true. Fluency is traditionally defined as focusing on rate, accuracy, and oral expression, which is also known as prosody, but it also must include comprehension, or the instruction will fall short of helping students read better. Just as some disfluent readers are able to comprehend well, there are other students that read fluently with little comprehension. These students have just developed the ability to automatically recognize the words without any truly understanding. Strategic fluency describes an increased level of ability whereby the reader moves beyond surface fluency to attend to meaning while reading. This should be our goal with students. A strategic reader employs metacognition while they read, or they monitor themselves for comprehension. And this is how we want students to read. Teachers know when a child has poor prosody, they usually are struggling to comprehend. Prosody describes how fluent readers use pitch, stress, and intonation to communicate the meaning of what is being read. Additionally, improvements in all aspects of fluency, from oral to silent reading, should be an objective of fluency instruction because adolescent readers are often required to read silently. Assessing fluency can be difficult. Many schools assess it solely based on the number of correct words per minute, but this does not measure prosody and comprehension. So teachers need to use assessment tools that distinguish what element of fluency the child is having struggles with. This study was a small-scale intervention designed to promote a complex definition of fluency as essential to success in reading. The main question of the study was how can an assessment-based program of repeated reading improve the reading fluency of struggling adolescent readers? The participants of the study were in a large secondary school in a suburban town in Southern Ireland. Liam, age 12, and Mary, age 14, were chosen because of poor performance in all aspects of fluency. They were also already receiving learning support in the classroom. Gary, age 14, was chosen because of his poor academic performance. During his assessment, it did show that he had good surface fluency of rate and accuracy, but his prosthetic reading and comprehension were very poor. And if they had not added those elements to the assessment, he would not have been identified as struggling to read. During the study, the students will repeatedly read the same passage of text until a degree of fluency is attained. The students had 2 weekly sessions for 7 weeks, one 1-hour session and one 40-minute session. When introducing the study to the students, the researchers used the word expression for prosody and understanding instead of comprehension, so that the students were better able to grasp the concepts of what they were measuring. The students were also required to set their own objectives and to keep a fluency scoring sheet. It was called FSS in the study, so that they could record their progress. They used one passage of text, it was the same passage, to score rate, accuracy, prosody, and comprehension before and after the intervention. The students were also scored on silent reading comprehension. During the intervention, the students were cued before their assessments to read for either prosody, comprehension, rate, or accuracy. So they kind of had an idea of what they were being tested on. These are Liam's statistics before and after the intervention. His word count went up from 41 to 64, and his oral and silent reading comprehension also gained. His pre-programmed oral comprehension was at a 7-year, 9-month range, and when he finished, he was at a 9-year, 2-month range. However, his reading age did go down for his rate after the program, but they do believe that is because he learned to slow down and read more accurately, and he learned how to acknowledge the punctuation in the readings. So his accuracy increased, but his reading rate did decrease. Mary was in the same situation. Her word count per minute actually decreased after the assessment, but again, that was because she had learned to slow down and read correctly. Her comprehension did boost. She went from 7 years, 9 months of age to 7 years, 11 months of age, and her comprehension rose from 40 to 80%. And again, her rate also decreased, but again, it was because she learned to slow down and actually read every word and comprehend what they were saying. These are Gary's statistics, and he improved in all aspects. So the intervention was considered a good success for him. Not that the others failed. They just had found it interesting that some of their rates had decreased. In conclusion, the study appeared to indicate fluency instruction as a vital aspect of reading instruction for adolescents. In a post-program interview, they asked each of the participants for advice that they would give to struggling readers. And Gary recommended for people to read it over twice. Mary suggested putting a finger over the first part of the word and try to read it in bits. And Liam advised to stop at full stops to make sure you're understanding. In the end, the qualitative data supports the belief that these students displayed increased levels of comprehension. If you are wanting to implement this in your classroom, here are 7 steps to help do it immediately. Number 1, you can incorporate fluency practice into your teaching practice as part of a holistic approach to reading development. 2, choose interesting reading material at the instructional level of your students. 3, make sure to model fluent reading for your students. 4, teach your students how to attend to punctuation and phrase boundaries. 5, encourage students to consider how to internalize improved oral reading fluency into silent reading. 6, if you're using assessments, do so wisely by testing all aspects of fluency. 7, build the fluency by providing students with a selection of interesting and accessible texts for independent and guided reading. These are a list of some more connected content-based resources that you can check out. That was quite the marathon. Thank you for sticking with me.